Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Sometimes I feel like you're supposed to have intros to your channel. And you're like, this is why I'm making YouTube channels. That's a lie. I've never actually watched like the first video that anyone's ever made. Like I feel like when I watch YouTube videos, like they're talking to me. They're like, hey everyone, thanks for watching, and I'm like, you're welcome, friend. Okay, this video is supposed to be about my hair, so I'm gonna do some hair shots. So you've got that. Pull up here. And then slow motion. So, in case you're wondering about my hair, I have sister locks, and my mom let me think about it for a good year and a half before she decided, because for those of you who may or may not know, sister locks or dreadlocks, two different things but similar, are actually permanent. If you want to get rid of them, you have to chop off your whole head. You just let it grow out a little bit and then you would shave it off and start over. If I had just let my hair alone and just let it grow in that style, the sister lock style, I would probably have it past my butt right now. Hey Jahara, isn't your hair really long? The answer to your question would be no. My hair is probably actually about this long, but I actually have yarn braid extensions on it, or some people call them yarn braids, some people call them genie locks, some people call them genie braids. Common term for them is yarn braids, specifically because I don't have anything wrapped around the yarn to make it have more of a dreadlock look. I've had a lot of women of color come up to me in the grocery store or like Sephora, other makeup places, and just kind of around town. I'm not gonna lie, where I live there isn't a huge population of women of color just out and about, but occasionally they will see me and they'll say, I really love your hair, where did you get it done? And a lot of people are surprised to know that I do it myself. So for anyone who's out there, I just want to let you guys know that like you can do this yourself. My hair is a little bit different because I have half sister locks with yarn braid extensions. If you try looking that up on Google, hopefully my video pops up. I tried looking it up and it's nowhere. It's really popular as a protective style, so someone who's trying to grow out their natural hair, and they use it from the root all the way through. But if you look up how to use yarn braids as extensions on pre-existing locks, pre-existing dreadlocks or pre-existing sister locks, I couldn't find anything. I actually ended up looking for something like this when I was living in Japan. I lived in Japan for about a year while this was happening. And I wanted something that I could make my hair longer, but also I was in a country where there really were no people that looked like me. So I looked up how to make extensions and I found yarn. Well, they have yarn here. So I was able to go get that. And then in terms of like conditioning my hair, I had to use just basic oils, like your olive oil and your coconut oil and things like that. You can use anything. I use Purple Heart yarn from Walmart. Yeah. Purple Heart, it's the best yarn for you and me. Maybe they'll sponsor me. It's like $5 for this big guy, and this big guy did my whole head with about half of it left over, though I did have some left from before. So I would say one of these will get you, this is probably about 20 inches that I have here. And just day to day, when I'm just swinging my hair around, putting it up a ponytail, throwing it up into a bun, you really can't tell, especially because it's not a technique that's overly popular, if really it's anywhere. So most people wouldn't even think that, I wonder if her locks are extended with yarn. Like that's just really not a thing. So I have this one here, and if you guys give me 1 second, I will show you how you can actually add yarn onto this to extend your pre-existing locks. Okay, so I have this one here just hanging out in front of my face. I'm trying to match the length or the thickness of my own locks. I chose yarn that is about a similar, because you're going to be doubling it up. This one is 5mm. But if you wanted to add locks to your whole head and you wanted them to be thicker, you could get much thicker yarn. Or I've done my mom's locks, and her locks are a lot thinner, and so I give her thinner yarn to start with, so that you're not adding like a big chunk onto her or something like that's way too skinny. So you're gonna pull this out. and you're going to measure it according to how long you want it to be, and you'll double it. So say if I double it here and here, how much longer do I want the lock to be? So here, we'll just go here, and so we'll chop it off right around here. And then you're going to need 2 strings of that. So just kind of take that, measure it back with your yarn, and you're going to cut it again. So you'll have 2 of these, set one aside, and just start with one, loop it till it's even here. Okay, so then you're going to grab that, and you're just going to pair it up with the end of the lock there. So if you're doing this on just your hair that's not locked, you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to have a section of hair sectioned off like that and pair it. And then you're going to wrap it around and then twist it. And then you're just going to braid it in. So you're just going to use the ends, and you're going to use these as if there were 3 strands of hair, and you're just going to braid it all the way till you reach the bottom of the lock. Then once you reach the bottom of the lock, you're going to have something similar to this. So you see like it's braided in here and here, but now you only have 2 strands because you've reached the bottom of the lock. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in with that second piece that you cut, and you're going to touch it right to the bottom, and then do the same thing. So you're going to roll it around and twist it. And then you're going to treat this original piece here as if it was one long strand, and then just start braiding these strands. So you're just gonna keep braiding. How long this takes is going to depend entirely on the skill of the person who's doing it. I like to do this while I watch TV, when I watch movies. Obviously it takes both your hands, so you can't really do it if you have other obligations, but again, it's going to depend entirely on the skill and how fast you can braid. You're going to braid it a little bit past the length that you want though. So if you're wanting it to be about here, so we'll go ahead and we'll stop there because that's one of the braids that's in front of my head, so I don't need it to be super long. And then you're going to take your strands here now, and you're just going to tie them. And I like to tie it a couple times just so it doesn't have the chance to unravel. And you're going to see it like that. Obviously don't leave it like that. You're going to take your scissors and you're going to come up close to your edges here. And you're going to give it a 1, 2 snip. And then you'll do the other side with a 1, 2 snip. And that's kind of your end result for your ends there. Obviously that's not ideal in terms of looks, so a lot of times I'll take it between my fingers and I'll rub it around, things like that, and it kind of starts to get more of that rolled, just general end look. What a lot of times you'll see online is people will take heat to the bottom of their hair and they will use that to melt the yarn a little bit and then mold it like that. I've done that in the past, but if you're not particularly skilled at that, you can just end up burning the yarn or just shriveling it, and then it gets really crunchy looking and it's just not very cute. So I personally just like to roll it between my fingers until it kind of just looks like that, and then leave it alone, and you'll go. At the end of all of this, I actually tend to go in and wash my hair so that it gives the yarn a chance to loosen up, because you might notice that a lot of the older yarn that I have in my hair is a lot looser and it flows better, but when you put yarn in your hair right at the beginning, it's going to have more of a stiff feel to it. So a lot of times dousing that with water is going to fix that. And I can do, again, an entirely separate video on washing your hair when you have yarn braids in. Because people have asked me, do you need to wash your hair? How do you wash the yarn? Does the color wash out? All sorts of questions. So I'm going to be able to do that for you guys as well. But that is how you add a yarn braid extension to your hair. If you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments. I'll also put my Instagram on here. If you guys have anything like that, feel free to check that out. You can see pictures of my hair. And if there's any videos you'd like me to do in the future, or something that I wasn't clear on that you would like me to do again, I would be happy to do that for you guys. But thanks so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. Just trying to get it out there into the community. There's just various things that you can do, and really just create a community, because out here where I live, there just really isn't a community for natural hair and the natural hair journey, and that's really a shame. I think so. Anyway, so thanks for coming out today, guys. Yep. Yep, that's my sign off. And now I will, sign off with some slow motion hair picks. Okay. Yay, Walmart yarn. Wait, is this even purple heart? Oh my god, it's red heart. I've been calling it purple heart. Like, quick Q&A. I posted on Twitter that I was going to have a Q&A, and you guys came up with some great questions. Let's take a look. I don't have a Twitter. I've never had a Twitter. Maybe I should get one. Huge prank! Boyfriend puts whole YouTube video with no editing. Girlfriend looks like fool. Fool.